I Know What You Did Last Summer is a show about secrets. Are you good at keeping secrets?
Yes. No further answer required.
Amazing. Number 2, there are 2 types of friends. Those who, when you ask for help, call the police, and those who come with a shovel to help you cover everything. What kind of friend do you consider yourself to be?
I think it depends on the friend and who needs to get buried, but I think I'm pretty much a shovel kind of friend, if you had to ask most of my buddies.
Amazing. I love it. Number 3, the series tells the life of a very excessive group of teenagers, always ready to have fun and party. Tell me about some of the craziest things you've done with your best friends. What's your favorite story to tell others?
Oh my god. My friends and I think it's past the statute of limitations or nobody would care. My friends and I started a little nano brewery out of our house in college, and we accepted donations and kind of had like a little beer salon. And then at the end, we were like, should we start this or should we just throw all our money away? And we spent all of our money on a penthouse in Atlantic City on graduation weekend. That was pretty fun. I'm not going to talk about what we did in that penthouse, but we got up to some fun. That's one. That was like a whole saga of my time in college, so that was like a really great time actually with my friends.
That's crazy. So you had a nano brewery, like you were brewing beer.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, we were brewing like 200 bottles a week. Yeah, this was with one of my friends who's like a crazy mastermind for that sort of thing. And then right after school, so we used that money. We bought a penthouse, blew all of our money that we made off of it in Atlantic City, and then we used some of the money in, or maybe we didn't even, but like I then went. He's from Norway, so a couple of my roommates and I we went to Norway to visit him on his farm, and we were riding bikes on the top of a glacier, and then we like rode down this mountain. So that fueled a lot of fun for us.
Wow, that's actually one of the coolest things I've heard in one of these interviews. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Okay, we'll move on.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's.
All full disclosure, we didn't like do anything like illegal and bad in the penthouse. It was just like normal 21, 22-year-old guys being stupid. So like.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Nothing, nothing horrible.
So let's go to, these are more about like your career and your roles.
Okay.
The sci-fi series Rat Bastard was an important moment for you.
Okay.
You not only starred in the series, but you also produced and wrote it.
Yeah.
How was it conceived, and where did the idea for the miniseries come from?
Well, my friends Jonah and Ethan, Jonah Lipton and Ethan Bleach, who I wrote and conceived of it with, would be delighted for it to be called sci-fi. That feels like giving us a lot of credit where maybe it's not even due. My friend Jonah, we used to call him a rat bastard just because maybe it sounded funny, and the assonance of the vowels sounded really nice, and he was just like such a little rat bastard. And then it came up that we just did a bit. It just started as a bit, really, where he would do this little voice, and then I did a voice back to him, and then we kind of wrote this whole mythology of these kids living in a near-apocalyptic San Fernando Valley. And we were just doing it for shits and giggles, really. We were just talking about it the other day, because Ethan, who I was one of the co-writers and directed us, he was my editor on something else that I recently did, and we were all just talking about how that was such a great time because we had no expectation of any kind of result or trying to do something cool or artistic or interesting. It was just purely creative and fun, and talking about how we kind of would like to get back to doing something like that. So I don't know if I can even recommend that people watch. It's like such a crazy, weird little thing. But yeah, I'm very happy to be asked about that. No one really cares about Rat Bastard, nor should they.
This looks amazing. Okay, I'm gonna have to watch it now. So you rose to prominence thanks to your role of Dylan in the show I Know What You Did Last Summer, based on the suspense novel of the same name by Lois Duncan. Are you a fan of the mystery genre, and what made you audition for the role?
Well, I'm very flattered to be told that I've risen to prominence. But I am definitely a fan of the mystery genre. I like all genres. There's not a genre I don't like, actually. What made me audition for the role? Actor got to work. But I think I feel very lucky that I got the break, not only to work, but also I think the material's really elevated. The creative team around it was so dedicated and committed and smart, and the characters are really three-dimensional. It's very rare that the creative team on the show is so committed and clearly wanted to tell a very human version of the story and play with the material and make a new adaptation that's of our time. And I think it's very rare. Oh yeah, this is a big thing, which is like I feel like a lot of the characters in the show nod to a certain kind of archetype, and they actually play with the archetype. And for me to play a character that you might see in a lot of different kind of YA teen shows, but I think what's so fun, especially as an actor, is that Dylan operates on very extreme ends of the scale emotionally, and that's very rare that you get an opportunity to kind of stretch out, like to try to like push your boundaries a little bit, and the part definitely offered me a chance to do that. I don't know if I always did it so successfully or gracefully, but yeah, I think that's what drew me to the part, or what made it exciting to get the part.
Amazing. I love that. Moving on, what's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, I have so many. It's really tough. I'm a huge David Cronenberg fan. I think I've said that in like every interview, maybe because I'm hoping that. But yeah, I'm a big fan. The Fly, I really love The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. Videodrome, Scanners, all of them. They're all awesome. My dad used to show me the old original like 1930s Wolfman and Frankenstein, and I love all those movies so much. So I have a fondness for those. And Guillermo del Toro. So I gave a very long-winded answer, which is normal, but there you go.
Perfect. Love it. What's your relationship with the original, I Know What You Did Last Summer films, starring Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love Hewitt? How much did you watch the original releases when prepping for your role as Dylan in the show?
So I watched the original, but not to prep. I think I watched the original to know kind of the lineage of the story that we were telling, to know how we were adapting it. But the show, I think, is, while keeping in spirit with the premise, tonally is very different, and my character doesn't have a one-to-one with any character in the show. And even if he did, I don't think I would have tried to take cues from the show, just because then you're trying to like copy what somebody else does, and it's never going to feel good or be good. So yeah, I watched it with great appreciation.
Your character is very dark, distant, and mysterious. Do you share any of his personality traits? What parallels do you see between yourself and Dylan?
Parallels. I think that yeah. I think there's a little bit of a perfectionism there that I maybe have. I try to stay away from it. But a need to be good, or a desire to be good. I think Dylan's very driven by wanting to be a good person, which I think is a big motivator for me as well, whatever that means. I also think the thing that I love about him is that he's a very compassionate and caring person for other people. And I think that that's something that I hope that I have and that I brought to the role. Yeah, I'm not nearly as humorless as he is. He's a little severe, a little austere little guy. So.
What were your cinematic references for Dylan's role in the series? What was your process of getting into the role like?
I didn't really have cinematic references. I don't quite work that way. I think that the thing that I try to do, I mean, every character is kind of different, but like, I try to get into a way of seeing the world. That's kind of the way I think about it, is like, how do I see the world as the character? So Dylan, I mean, one area in which we're very different is that he's a highly analytical thinker, and I'm not quite as linear as he is. And he's great at math, and I'm so terrible at it. But like he studies CS in school, right? And he's like very good at computer science. So I have the good fortune of having some really good friends who are in that world. One of whom's getting his PhD in computer science, specializing in machine learning and AI. So I interviewed him quite a bit. I interviewed some friends of mine who struggled with some of the same mental health issues that Dylan might be struggling with, who have similar life experiences, having two moms, being being a product of a sperm donation. So you kind of get these lived experiences to kind of prompt your imagination and then give you a way of thinking. So I kind of saw that Dylan very much sees the world in binary, right? So that's kind of the way that I prep, is trying to get a way that I can look at the world and look at what's in front of me and categorize what I'm seeing, and then it inevitably affects my imagination. But I'm still learning how to do all this stuff. It's a process.
Oh, I love that. You've obviously amassed a great deal of what you did last summer. What's next for you? Is there a genre or another form of artistry you're drawn to and would like to explore in depth in 2022 and beyond?
I just want to do anything that's going to push me as an actor. I think part of the great thing about being an actor is that there is so much freedom to do different genres of film and television, and also I love theater and was training in theater when I got the part, and I'd love to go back to the stage, or really go to the stage professionally for the first time. But yeah, I mean, I don't even want to say, because it's like I would so much rather be surprised by what comes up.
I love that. Well, that's all the questions we have. I think it was great. Is there anything you'd like to answer again or expound upon? I mean, I think it's
No.